Hey guys, J-No Zero and little J-No Zeros.
I'm not little.
We are doing some practicing on canning. Why do we can stuff?
Because just in case something bad happens to you or outside, we'll always have extra meat stored somewhere so we can cook it.
That's right. So we have extras. What does canning do? What does it mean?
It keeps the food fresh.
Preserves it.
So
That's right. It preserves it so we can use it. And it'll last up to several years. Sitting on the shelf, as long as it is in a cool, dark place, it will last for several years. And I am cutting it into chunks so that we can put it in jars easily. So, who is going to get a jar? Somebody get a jar? We'll start this pile right here. Start putting them into jars.
Don't we need those glove things?
Oh, you don't need them. Everybody wash their hands, right?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Washing your hands, folks. You gotta wash them. My stepdad brought me this cool old butcher knife, and I dig it. This thing is really, really good. So what we're canning up right now, anyway, we got a couple of chuck roasts. You know, the kind that's got the yellow label on it. That's a clearance sale, just a nasty piece of chuck roast and a cheap pork loin that I found. And those are what we're canning, preserving. I use a rubber spatula to try to push it down a little bit in the inside there. But I wanted to show y'all, we're hanging in the kitchen with the kids. Doing a little bit of learning about taking care of ourselves today. Canning up the beef. You guys have any questions?
Nope.
No?
Is this the same stuff we use all the time when we make that casserole, isn't it?
Yeah.
Canned meat?
Yeah.
And it's a lot cheaper doing it this way too, because I paid, on sale I paid like $7 for this big old chunk of meat. Whereas if you bought a can of meat from the store, it would, little bitty can of meat would cost you $7. So
Take note.
it saves a lot of money doing it this way. Saves money, and it tastes better, and it lasts longer.
Take note.
Right. So we've got our jar full, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna take one, what is this, a teaspoon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 teaspoon of salt. Just put it in there right on top. Now we need to get a paper towel. Will you give me a paper towel, please?
A or paper towel?
Yep, a paper towel.
Well, I won't wet, so.
And we will wipe off all around the edge of the jar and the threads of the jar. What are the threads?
The ring or things.
Yep, the threads are these grooves right here that the rings screw down onto. So we wipe off the rim and the rings. We take a clean lid, put it on top, take our ring, and we tighten it down just hand tight. Just like that. And we can set that one aside. That one's ready to go.
Why's the salt? Why do we need?
The salt, it just helps add a little bit of flavor to it. Whenever you're canning the meat, it's cooking the meat, and all the juice that comes out of the meat will mix with the salt. Salt and give it some really good flavor. That way, if you're in a bad situation and you don't have any salt, you can still have your food tasty good. Tasty good. That's what we like. So. On these chuck roasts, like the ones that I got here, I always try to trim as much of the big chunks of fat and stuff off that I can. These the big nasty chunks of fat, try to trim them up and get them out of there. And we give ours to, most of the time we give them to the chickens, and they just love it. Chickens love these meat scraps and the fat scraps. And it's good for them, it's good for the chickens because what does meat have a whole lot of?
Protein.
Protein. And what do chickens need a lot of when they're laying eggs?
Protein.
That's right. So if we give them these meat scraps, they are eating a lot of protein, which is a good thing. So we'll set these scraps aside here. Alrighty. So that's what we're up to right now in the kitchen. We're going to get the rest of this trimmed up and cleaned up. And then we'll get right back with you. Alrighty. Morgan is learning how to properly cut it. So go ahead, let the knife do the work, pull it straight back. Just like that. Good job. Now you can spread it apart a little bit, just like that. That way you're not having to saw a whole lot. You're not trying to saw through the meat, you're just trying to slice the meat. So now take each one of these pieces here and cut it again. Just like that. Good job. Alright. Looks like we're going to end up with 4 quarts of beef and 3 quarts of pork, by the way. So now you want to cut them in chunks. There you go. Cut the chunks just a little bit smaller than that. And remember, you're not trying to saw. You're use the whole blade. That knife's got a long blade on it. Use the whole blade. There you go. That's a little easier, huh?
Mhm.
Just like that. Watch your fingertips. Try to keep your fingers curled. That way if the knife comes close, it hits your fingers and it doesn't go through your tips. Perfect. You guys are awesome. Alrighty. What's the next thing we got to do now? Once we get this here, let Morgan cut that up.
You put the salt in it?
Yep, next thing we gotta do is put the salt in. So get your 1 teaspoon. Of salt. Now there you go. And I know other people, yep, just pour it in there. And I know there's a lot of people that will put spices and stuff like that inside with their meat, and that's fine. I mean, it's all, this is just personal preference stuff. You know, if you want to put spices and stuff in with it, that's great. AJ Prepper and Hillbillies in the Bush, they've got an awesome trick for canning their deer meat. Hopefully they'll do a video on it. Hint, 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 do a video on it. But they got a really neat trick for canning their deer meat and stuff, so hopefully they'll put that out.
Wait.
No, we can't do that yet. What, you forgot one step. What did you forget to do?
Oh, clean it off.
There you go. Clean off the rim. Because if it's got a dirty rim, then it won't seal. And if it doesn't seal, then it's not preserved.
Done.
Okay. Go ahead and throw them in that jar there. That should hopefully fill that jar up.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yes.
All right. You need to put, all of them are cleaned. Gonna put
Yep.
salt in that one?
Yep.
Okay. Good job. Good job. This is what we need to see a lot more of, everybody. We need to see a lot more of the young generation doing stuff from the old generation, learning how to preserve, learning how to take care of themselves.
Let's see your swag do this.
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
There's,
notice the aprons, Toad? Haha. They're working out good. Alrighty, so get that last one there, get the lid on it.
there's not another lid.
Well, then get another lid.
There should be another lid in that box right there.
Nope.
No? Well, then you got 2 on somewhere because I know I counted them. Or maybe not.
This one.
There you go. You get one. There you go.
This one.
Just need one.
Oh, here.
Alrighty, so in the canner here, I've got a little bit of water and a little bit of vinegar to help keep the jars from getting all clouded up. We're going to set those jars into the canner. Morgan? Did you clean up the rim? Did you clean up that rim?
Yeah, that's all good.
Okay. Okay, go ahead and set the jars into the canner easily and gently. Just set them all around the edge.
Ow.
Here, Joshua's right behind you with some more here.
Excuse me.
I did smoke maker.
And there's one left that goes right in the middle.
I shall do the honors.
Nope.
That will give us our 7 quart jars of meat. Now we're going to put the lid on. I'll do the lid here.
Oh.
Here, let me hold that.
Wow, everything's so like nicer looking through this camera.
Okay, we got the lid on our camera. Oh, where's my apron? Or lid on the canner. Now we're going to turn it on high and let it come to a boil so that we can start building pressure. Okay, the canner is hot. We now have a good steady stream of steam coming up out of the where this here is, the nozzle, little tube thing. So how long do we need to let that steam come through the nozzle?
10
like
minutes.
that?
10 minutes.
10 minutes, and why?
So make sure this is clean.
That's right. Make sure that
Yeah.
there's nothing blocking it and clogging it up. So if we could get somebody to set the timer for 10 minutes,
I will.
and we will go to the next step. Alrighty, our timer is going off now. It has been 10 minutes. We're going to turn it off. Now we take this right here. What is that called?
I don't know.
This is called the weight, the pressure weight. So take the weight and put it on top of the nozzle, and that will make it start building up pressure. Now you gotta always be careful when you're doing that because it's really, really hot. That steam is really hot. That'll jiggle for a minute and then it'll pop up and it'll start building up pressure. We want it to wait, we want to get it up to how many pounds of pressure?
10.
10 pounds of pressure, that's exactly right. For where we live, we can it at 10 pounds of pressure. So we will get everybody back in here once we get up to 10 pounds of pressure. Alrighty, now we have gotten up to 10 pounds of pressure. We're turning the heat down to maintain the 10 pounds of pressure. And how long do we need to leave it in the canner for now?
An hour?
Nope.
90 minutes.
How much?
90 minutes.
90 minutes. And what's that?
3 hours.
An hour and a half.
No.
An hour and a half. Yeah, 3 hours. Okay, well, somebody want to set the timer then for 90 minutes, please?
Well,
1.5 hours.
I want to. No, let Joshua do it.
Well, too bad. Oh, oops. Too bad. I'm already here.
Doesn't matter who does it. We get it done. And then we need to always keep track of it. We need to come in here every couple of minutes and keep checking to make sure that the pressure
It only goes up to
is
80.
still at 10 pounds.
It only goes up to 80. No, stop. Okay,
Okay,
how do I?
alrighty. Well, we're going to set the timer and then we'll see you guys in 90 minutes.
I don't know.
Alrighty, we are at 90 minutes. So it is done. We need somebody to turn off the burner. And we will let it sit there and start cooling and let some of the pressure come down. So we'll get back with you here in a few minutes when it cools off and the pressure goes down.
Done.
Alrighty, now the canner has cooled off enough to where we can crack it open, so to speak. So will you grab the weight, lift the weight up? Okay, set it aside. Now we're gonna crack open the lid, set it aside. Watch out, that steam coming out of there is hot. Gotta always be careful with the steam. Here, hold this camera.
You never let me hold it.
Okay.
Evil person.
Alright. Set this aside. Whoa. Now, what are these called? Anybody know what this is called?
Birds.
No.
No.
Pinchers?
Jar lifter. This is the jar lifter. How this works is you set it in. You gotta be really careful. You put it around the top of the ring of the jar. Watch out, Joshua.
It's a bubbler, Jamie.
Pull it out and you set it over the side. You see how they're still bubbling?
That one's going insane.
That's what we want. We want them to bubble just like that. That's a good thing. Drain some of the water off of them.
Can I pick up one?
I'll pick them up because I don't want you to drop them.
They're really heavy.
Well, they're not really heavy, but I just don't want to take a chance on one of them slipping out and falling down.
So this is cooked.
Yep, the meat is cooked and is soon to be preserved. Don't touch them. They are really, really hot still. You see them still boiling there, right?
Mhm.
That's how hot they are. That one already clicked, already sealed. So there we go. There we have it. There's the 7 quarts that we just canned up today with me and the Litlands. So canning is not that difficult, y'all. It is almost as easy as counting to 1.
One. See, that easy.
Pretty easy. And kids are learning all about it.
Sort
And
of.
I suggest everybody else learns all about it.
Yep.
And thanks for watching.
One.
God bless. What do we end it with?
Bye.
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 Buzz buzz. The end.